Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Ericka Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl Ericka from the Classic Climb blog. So as you can see, we have four links up there if you see it. We have all ebooks right there. Drop your city and state in the chat. You have Middleman to Millions classes right there. You can check that out. If you're a Middleman to Millions school group this week, and also Digital Liberty Warriors on Wednesday, again, we will have live in the group. We got to be in there. It'll be, sorry, there's a gnat. I need to get out of my face. Okay. And then also the second link here is M1 Finance and Fundrise. Now, why am I talking about them? Why am I promoting them? Why have I done old videos? You can see 6 years ago, I did videos on them. And it's because I want you to understand the power of $50. Now, I didn't want to name it $40 because I felt like it was going to bring out the trick spirit in these people out here. Okay. It's $50. Life short. Life starts when you can invest with small amounts. Now, I've noticed when I post a lot of times on the community wall, I post all these different things. People are like, oh, that's just $50. That's just $100. Oh, that's only giving you a small dividends, Ericka. I'm like, it's 12%, 15%. You get what you put in it. And the problem is you never start because you never start. Okay. You're too proud to start with $50. Right? Well, when I get a lump sum, when I get a windfall, when I get this next job, I'm going to start investing. Now, this is one that I want to show y'all because, I mean, again, you don't got to take my word for it. Again, I lived with a financial analyst and I lived with an engineer, and they were women and they were the top of the top financials. And they was just dumping money into stocks. They were just dumping money in stocks and putting money away because in comparison to everybody they knew, making 150 as an analyst and 195,000 as a engineer woman at Samsung, they were like, yeah, this is just par for the course. So most of y'all are not making 195. Most of y'all are not making 150. Okay. Other day I came across 2 or 3 y'all sent me your Instagram pages, and I'm so proud of y'all. Right. There's some of my students who not only left their jobs and have this kind of entrepreneurial journey, they have multiple rentals, they've got rental cars, they got multiple stuff. Now you're going to say, well, Ericka, well, why would you be proud that they left their job? Because I don't advocate for any of y'all to leave your job. I'm just always telling you, do you know how much it costs a month for you to live and for you to thrive? And the average 90% of the people you're going to walk around every day don't know. They don't know how much, right? This is how Ty Lopez, whether y'all want to, oh, Ericka, don't beat up on Ty. I'm not going to beat up on Ty. But if you're bringing in $100 million and you allot yourself 16 million, you should be able to turn that 16 million into 32 million. Now you're going to go, whoa, Ericka, whoa. Double your money? That's insane. No, it's not. It's really not. It's really not. Right? Like I can show you how much charter planes cost, right? And how much empty legs cost. If you're going to keep riding charter planes, you have to have real money. Okay? At 16 million, you could have took 5 million for yourself, took the other 10 million over somebody, and they would have doubled that money by now. It's when you get to those type of numbers, it's like, you know, Pier 1 imports and all stuff was losing like millions of dollars every month, like 10 million for the year. So once you get to that level, you're talking about stuff multiplying or subtracting very quickly. Okay. But I know it's beautiful to look over there, but let's look here. Let's look at the $50. Okay. Let me go here. Let me show this page first before we start getting into this conversation. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, Ericka, you've been talking about this for years. You've been saying this. And I'm like, that's where the change happens over years. For most of you. Most of you ain't. Most of you do not want to start a business. Most of you do not want to build a house. Most of you don't want to buy a rental. Most of you do not want to do heavy lifting. You don't want to change jobs. You're like, I'm waiting for Ericka to give me there's some kind of sauce I can skip all these steps. No, Sauce is actual consistency. Most people do the same thing every 6 months. They don't get the first of the year right. By April, they like, oh, damn. By summertime, maybe next summer I'm gonna have a summer body. Maybe next summer I'm gonna go to all the places I want to go. Maybe next summer I'm gonna do ABC. And then they get to the fall. They get right before that week in August. The kids eat me out of house and home. They got to get haircuts, right? They doing that same playbook till they wake up. Their kids are 18 and they have nothing to give them. I mean, I'm literally every day on this internet seeing black, white, and whoever. I have girls from my graduate for school with who are got kids getting ready to go to college. They're like, girl, college is expensive. Girl, you've been ringing that same song on Facebook. I can go any year on Facebook in August and see the same conversation. The kids, school, the teachers, bullying. I can see the same thing for years. But if you start asking those parents, tutors, why they in a karate class, why they in a self-defense class, like all of a sudden it's like, hey, you don't question mothers. You don't question fathers. And you're just like, no, I do. Like, we know a person who's a contractor overseas. They got a 9-year-old kid on the side. You're telling me you're in Dubai, in Middle East, contracting almost 11 months out of the year. I know the phone is powerful, but being actively an active parent every day, I see your face, you cannot compare it. It doesn't compare. So yeah, people can talk about you, but that's just somebody I know. Let's get to it. How y'all doing today? Before I come and kick in people's faces, let's start the day off a little bit better. Let's go here. What's up? We got San Francisco, Rosenberg, Texas, Conroe. We got Boston Metro, Wilson, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. We got Hot Atlanta in the building, Houston, Texas. We'll be down in Houston here shortly in October for our Inner Circle. And we have maybe 5 or 6 tickets open for non-Inner Circle members, but it ain't cheap. Dallas, Atlanta, Columbus, Ohio, Tampa Bay, Nashville. What's up, Angelo? Inner Circle Bimmer, what's good? Okay, so let's get into it. Salt Lake City and Jacksonville, Florida. All right, this is Budget Dog. Again, you can make a lot of money in America on this social media if you want to do a couple things. Now, I think a lot of people are confused. Let me brace myself. A lot of people are confused because they think people go on social media and they're grifting, Ericka. They're selling courses. They're selling community. Oh my God. And it just cracks me up. But long story short, it's called The Nature of Odds. There's a book I recommended last time, The Equation for Success. There's a couple of them I've recommended on this channel, and it talks about sports. Now I'm going to tell you, before we get into this right here, what percent of gamblers actually win a month, you guys? I want you win and bets. What's the percentage? From 1% to 100%. How many people really win at gambling? Because you always hear about the lottery ticket every year. You hear about how big the lottery is. I'm gonna give y'all a second to come in here and tell me how many of y'all, what's the percentage of people that win at gambling? Because my biggest thing is when people say starting a business is risky, changing jobs is risky, doing this or that is risky, I start laughing because I'm like, maybe y'all don't know the percentages. Maybe y'all don't know, the struggle out here. Okay, what's going on? So I'm gonna give y'all a second. Again, I hope y'all had a beautiful day today. Come on, come with it. Because every day I get on this phone, how we gonna spend money? That's the number one thing. People don't think about how we're gonna invest money. They always talk to me about how we're gonna spend some money. And I'm like, the reason I can be so free is because I know I've put the chips in the place they need to go, right? We're just sowing and reaping. Y'all know y'all heard of that, right? So Brandy said 5%, J Brad said 2%, which is less than 3% win, 100% play, 10%, 7%. Ding, 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 NC worker, it is 3% on these apps at these casinos. It is 3%. So when y'all sit here and be like, oh, my cousin them play cards and gamble, like I meet a lot of Black people that play the numbers, that play the lottery. It's their thing. You can't tell them about it. You can't say nothing to them. Some days they win, some days they lose, some days they up, some days they down. And I always just tell people that don't appeal to me. 3%. 3%. Or this guy was like, yeah, 90% of day traders lose money. And I go, are 90% of day traders studying? Are they educating themselves? Who's trained them? Do you understand how many years these people work on Wall Street and banking and analysts? And the majority of these young people, once they figure the game, they get the hell out of Wall Street, they get out and they go own a bunch of companies or they go own a bunch of rentals. That's a reoccurring thing. They go to Wall Street 2 years, 3 years, work like Hebrew slaves, being there all day and all night, sleeping on the desk, falling over, doing whatever they can, getting them some nasal boom strip action right here. Oh, the filter won't let me show y'all. Oh, there it is. If y'all know what these is, y'all know what these are, right? Get a little dizzy. You're going to wake right on up from that one, okay? So come on, listen. She said, I'm in the 10% of traders making money. But that's the point. That's my whole point, Dr. Chad. It's like, how many of these people are applying themselves? Because to be exceptional, you have to be doing what others are not doing. So my my whole point of this video is I can start investing later, Ericka. There's always some tomorrow. What's the most dangerous day? Tomorrow. What's the most dangerous day on the calendar? Tomorrow. Right. And I'm not saying you got to go out here and 180 change your life and work out every day and do it. I'm not even gonna lie to you and tell you I do that. I literally get up, try to walk 2 miles, try to jump rope for about 5 minutes. It'd be beating me up. I'd be like, put that jump rope down. Right. And then I go on about my day and I try to adjust. Right. We have a goal, but we can adjust the target. Okay. All right. And I already lost some of y'all. They already like, oh, she talking about money today. Let me get off this line. You already know the power of now. Okay. I study to teach and stay sharp. I keep telling people. All right. So one of the big things I talk about $50. The reason I see when people talk, and I'm gonna go there for a second because I know that rounds y'all up. These women ain't worth dating. It ain't about the money. It's about my time and money. And it's like, bro, it's $50. The date's $20. The ice cream, the coffee, the whatever. It don't matter what it is. It's cheap. When you are in a mindset of scarcity and you're afraid and you're in your apartment and if I miss a day of work, I'm gonna be fired. You're not in the high. When you look at the actual chart of hierarchy of needs, you don't even need to worry about dating. You don't even need to worry about other stuff. You need to worry about how do I increase my income. And I posted something on the community wall the other day where the guy is making $3,000 a month. He's a bartender living in DC. He lives at his parents' house. He broke up with his baby mama, and he won't black. He was others, okay? And to their credit, Fresh and Fit were like, bro, you're broke. No, bro, you can't buy no Mercedes, bro. You're broke. He's like, but I do this and this, that. No, bro, you're broke. $3,000 gross. By the time you do taxes in the DC area, you at 20 something a year at your parents' house plus child support. You're only focused at that point. If she don't put you out, she don't care about you, and you only bartending at night, you need to be at school getting a trade during the day. And we are at a point in our society where nobody will say the harsh stuff, right? They talking about they debating people going on campus harassing children. No, that's not debating. All right, so you see the $250 a month. I'm gonna tell you right now, people gonna be like $250. I remember one time I said on here $750 a month minimum if you really want to retire in 5 years. And people, the emails and the ugliness y'all said in the comments, Ericka's out of touch. I'm like $750. But then I remember the cars. They gotta have the car. They gotta get that car payment. So anyway, you have $250 a month at 20 years old. By the time you're 65, you're talking about $1.7 million. And you're gonna say, well, that's a long time. Well, guess what? A lot of y'all gonna work all the way till I get phone calls where we got people 72 years old still working. I had phone calls where people are 65 still working and don't have no end in sight. So trust me, this applies. Okay. $250 a month at 25. Still good. $250 a month at 30. So a lot of people wake up. Ooh, $250 a month at 40. Now, what if I did 50? It's gonna be low, right? This is where a lot of y'all are not having realistic conversations. A lot of y'all are starting to see your parents. Like I saw this young man showed a post about his mom died of high blood pressure and a stroke, and everybody's shocked. And then I saw a picture of it. And I'm like, I ain't trying to judge, baby, but you knew that was coming. She's not walking. She's smoking cigarettes. She's not taking good care of herself. I mean, again, this is these conversations people are really not trying to have. Okay. So long and the story short. Budget Dog does a really great job. And so that's why I always like, hey, don't take my word for it. I'm gonna be okay. I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm gonna be like, I don't know what you gonna do, but I'm gonna be okay. So let me show you this right here. 25 jobs that pay over 100K salary. Now, many people are gonna say, well, Ericka, everybody can't stop what they doing and studying. Okay, listen, I'm not mad with you. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go here. Tech program manager, anesthesiologist. I just saw a black man earlier today talking about there's not many black anesthesiologists. And some people said, well, if you don't get ICU experience, they won't let you go. So what do? They block some of the black folks. But anyway, let me keep it moving. Surgeon, veterinarian, airspace engineer, construction manager, orthodontist, nurse practitioner, petroleum engineer, financial advisor, real estate broker, investment banker, economist, statistician, attorney. There's a difference between an attorney and a lawyer. Attorney actually goes to court. A lawyer can just do documents. But I'm gonna leave that alone because y'all got some of y'all favorite black people online are just lawyers. I'm gonna step out of there. Let me get out of there. Judge, software architect, mobile app developer, web developer, mechanical engineer, HR director, logistics manager. Again, what is that? That can be trucking. That can be a warehouse person that does logistics. This guy got IG. Yeah, his IG is making money. Industrial engineer. Now, I've told y'all the formula for a lot of these influencers has always been they basically sell a entry-level product around $280, $300 to about 600 people a year. Cool, no problem, awesome sauce, right? Then they'll have a small anywhere 200 people or whatever, 400 people that buy a specialized course, 4 to 5K. It's an inner circle, it's a course, and they'll make their million, right? Because a lot of people are like, no, these influencers aren't making $1 million. I'm telling you, there's too many people I know charge 5,000, sell it to 200 people, and they haven't hit the $1 million. This is why their ads are nonstop rolling. This is why their videos are always in your face. It is what it is. It's a numbers game. But my goal for you is, yes, can you play that game? Do you want to post every day, 2-3 times a day? Yeah, that's a life. I've been there. I can't do it again. I've been there. I can't do it again. I just can't do it. There's sometimes your girl just knows I just don't want to do that road again. I did years of that. At this point in the game, I'm like, okay, what's something that puts $20,000 to $50,000 in your pocket? What puts $50,000 to $150,000 in your pocket? And you have to have some runway and some patience to get that. But let's keep it pushing. Let me get to the next page. I wanted to show y'all. Let me get to the next page. Hey. Dang, where am I at? Hold on. No, get it, baby. Right. Damn, where that? Okay, that's it. All right. So all the things that people like, you don't know, Ericka. Things cost money. I know. How dare I? Okay, let's go here real quick. All right, here again, and I'm gonna go to the next one. Small steps to build wealth. Because again, I'm not talking about putting thousands and thousands of dollars away a month because I know people ain't gonna do that. So let's talk about what they can do. Again, have an e-fund, negotiate bills, automate savings, create a budget, invest in yourself, open a savings account. All right, pay off debt, travel hack. One of the things on here is remain teachable. Use cashback cards, cut on junk food, set up autos pay, meal plan, open an SHA. I think y'all saw when Tim Jackson came on the show and he told you that he spent like $800 a month on like Whataburger and Chick-fil-A or whatever, because he was just every lunch he was going there 20, 30 days out of the month. It adds up. Okay. So again, that's something I just want y'all to, if you think about it, I want you to address. Here's a little encouragement for your day. He always has such a deadpan face, which cracks me up, but
2 things, baby. Everything ain't for everybody, and God may put you in a place, but your character may not keep you there. If you spend your time doing the work that 99% of the population will never do, what percentage of the population do you think is going to understand you? You will not be like everybody else. From your habits, from your day-to-day in and out activities, to who you surround yourself with, to things you choose to do and not do, all of those need to look completely different from the majority of the population. And if you're wondering why you feel stuck and you're still trying to do what you see others do, that may be the problem. God bless y'all. Have a great day. This is coming from somebody who was a millionaire before the age of 30. If you want to be exceptional, you have to be the exception. My grandmother always used to tell me two things. Baby, everything ain't for everybody, and God may put you in a place, but your character may not keep you there. If you spend your time doing the work that 99% of the population...
I like him. I just like his page. His page is very good. I mean, the people that focus on this, I salute them every time. Go check out his page. His face is always just like deadpan to me though. Let me see if I got the other one I want to show y'all. Let me go over here. Dang, where's it at? Hold on a second. I'm gonna get to it. Hold on. I'm coming. Oh, here we go. Y'all favorite guy that talks so much smack. Here you go.
Because it's too overwhelming. My resume starts all the way back in high school when I made one of the first branded accounts on social media. And of course, there were some here and there, but I actually used it in a way that it is used in modern day. And a couple of years later, I ended up executive producing a global marketing campaign for fun as a side project. And I also featured myself in said global marketing campaign. And the year before that campaign, I was featured in a report that was for the World Economic Forum, all as side projects. This is like a small one line on my resume. All of these things I created, I forced into existence. People don't understand how to make opportunities for themselves. Obviously, if you are making the opportunity, you are going to be doing things that you actually like doing. You're not going to be sitting here at this miserable job that you hate that also pays you no money. And who does that? Who sits at a miserable job and makes no money? You should at least pick one or the other. As people start whining and crying about the economy, the reason you care about the economy is because you have no skills, actually. You have no ability to make anything. So if things are not handed to you, you are screwed. I don't have to clutch my pearls about the economy. And even if people stop spending in one area, cool, I'll do this other thing that I also have a long list of experiences in. Well, just keep this in mind every time you engage with this content that's like, there's no jobs, this economy is horrible, there's no opportunity. Is there not any opportunity, or do you just not know how to cope with being an adult that has to make their own opportunity? I'm 27 and my resume is so long that I hate even talking about it because people just check out because it's too overwhelming. My resume starts all the way back in high school when I made one of the first branded accounts on social media. And of course, there were some here and there, but
Okay. Mr. Pretentious is what he is, and he's hilarious. So you can go ahead to, but the truth is, many people are like, Ericka, you don't understand the economy, Ericka, and and so my biggest thing to y'all here, that's my solutions for today. I gave you easy ones. M1 Finance and Fundrise. You can buy fractional shares of stocks. Okay, you can build a pie portfolio. And Fundrise, you can invest in real estate. Many of you have already. And those referral links, the Fundrise one will give you 25 and I get 25. So I'm always clear about when the channel's affiliate marketing. I want you to be out here like, Ericka's out here recommending stuff that's going to put money in both our pockets. What a scam. Right? But that's the truth. When you don't have skills that can navigate, can move left or right, you're going to be like, well, Ericka, you don't understand. What about stuff for the average person? And I just want to let you know that's a wrap. Here we go. Let me show you this to you. This is in Chicago, but it's Evanston. So I know y'all gonna get particular and say, well, this isn't exactly Chicago, but this is the whole Illinois Board of Education lowers the threshold for math and ELA proficiency. What did I tell y'all? These people are not, they're passing yet. They're not teaching your children nothing. The lower the cutoff scores for students to be deemed proficient in math and English, language of arts for grades 3 through 8. And I don't know if you understand, but grades 3 through 8 are pivotal in a child's life. If you've lost them or they're behind by 8th grade, baby, by the time they get to high school, it's a wrap. All right, unless there's just like an absolute 180 at that house for studying, all kind of stuff, okay? Asian students have consistently performed above state average as a whole, but Black students lag far behind their white students locally in terms of their average scores. The decision to reduce the scores based on proficiency, passed the state board unanimously. Now, instead of them saying, we have a problem over here at this school, maybe we should get the hooked on phonics and play it in the class for 30 minutes a day. Maybe we should get some extra tutors in here for 30 minutes a day. Maybe the after school programs where we can have some tutors that the state puts a few $1 million and we get some tutors paid and get it done goes down. No, instead of doing any of the simple things they could do to replace and repair and let's work on K1 through kindergarten through third grade. Let's try to get them some more hooked on phonics stuff going on. You dig what I'm saying? They ain't trying to hear that, but they're just like, let's lower the score. So long story short, why did they do this? Because if your school district, the scores keep not being passing, they come take over your school. They come take over your classrooms because that's what they're supposed to do. Right? If you're not performing multiple year after year, they come take over your classroom. So these people are not even educating your children anymore, right? They're giving them is the bare minimum. That's why I told you the money. If you're a person who wants to start a private school or one of these Montessori schools, or just a school where the mamas don't come with a bonnet on, just a school where the kids don't come with a bonnet on and aren't full of sugar and brain fogged, you can make a lot of money coming up in the future. There's a lot of opportunity coming for people who want to make these private mini schools where there's like 200 kids. And I hear people complaining all the time. Oh, my son's tired of being at this small school with only so many people in his class. Baby, what are you going to do with some of these big Texas schools? Fall behind. All right. So again, no one's telling you to quit your job. People are just telling you to do basic math. And so when people out here, if Dr. Chastity goes, hey man, I need to make $5K a month. I'm just saying a number. $5K a month. How many trades does she have to do? Right? How many services does she have to sell for $1,000? Okay, that's just 5. That's just math, right? If someone says, hey, I need 3K ASAP, right? And they buy a duplex. All right. Their wife wants to go home, they buy a duplex and each side rents out for $1,500. Well, there's their 3K. Of course, that's gross, not net, so we can argue about that a whole nother day. But we have to start doing the math. Now you're going to say, well, Ericka, everybody can't own a duplex. Everybody can't own rentals. Everybody can't own stocks. I'm telling you, we're in a country that's asset-based. It's an asset-based society. When people say, Ericka, I'm a barber, I'm a hairdresser, and I'm working like never before, Ericka, and I'll be on the phone with y'all. I'll be feeling bad too. I'll be like, baby, listen, you can braid hair every day and every night. And you'll have to keep braiding hair till your fingers fall off. Unless you start investing that money. And then they get tense on the phone. I said, baby, listen, I don't care if it's $25 a week. I don't care if it's $50 a week. I don't care if it's $100 a week. You have to commit to you. Because I can't commit to you more than you can commit to you. You know what I'm saying? You see the schools are lowering the standards, right? So your child's getting all this debt from 18 to 25 years old. And then they spend from 18 to 35 going, all I've done is work in low paying jobs and I'm frustrated and I'm mad. And then they go, now I'm going to do something different in my 30s and 40s and 50s. Some people ain't going to make it. Right? Now, say what you will. When I tell you the assets are buying a home, buying stocks, or starting a business, or moving your money, people immediately ignore those 3. Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to start a business, Ericka. I don't want to buy a home. Baby, you're telling me you don't want to do what's been worked for hundreds of years in this country. You're telling me the 3 major ways that this is how miseducated people are. That I tell you, this is your problem. You can work every day, all day, 7 days a week. I've done that. I did that for a year. I wore myself out. I worked 7 days a week, 2, and for a little bit of that time, I had a 3rd job. I looked up and yeah, I saved a bunch of money. I did, but I was like, this is the bananas. This is stupid. This is dumb. My grandma said only thing work every day is a maggot and a fool. I understood because it made no sense. So I started taking Saturdays off. They're like, no, not Saturdays. That's your busiest day. You deliver pizzas, you work in the office. Yeah, I took Saturdays off. And I was walking Town Lake and I was so excited. I was outside like, oh God, thank God for Saturday. I was out there like saying prayers at the lake. Oh my God, look at this beautiful, beautiful city on Saturday, right? And the problem is, it's all about your wiring. It's all about who you're interacting with. It's all about the conversations. Once you know better, you're supposed to do better. This is why when y'all parents, y'all get grandkids, y'all parents are just the nicest people in the world, because they realize that, hey man, you know, when I was raising you, maybe I was tired and exhausted, and that wasn't your fault, right? People don't want to hear that part of the story. That wasn't your fault. I was just tired, right? And so you have to understand the problem is people are going to be difficult to hear some of this because it offends them, right? Let me go over here to this clip. Just an example, because once people say, "Where you always were talking about tech," I don't know why you were bringing that up. Like everybody don't want to do that, and I just want to show you, like most of this stuff is sales. I'm gonna show you this one right here. Let me see if I can. Now, if you can go ask Elevate to the Unknown, he'll talk to you about this. This happened to him, similar but not exactly. He made it probably a mill, but here you go.
This month was $825,000. This guy's not a movie star. He's not an athlete. He's just a normal guy like you and me. But he got paid $825,000 this month, not this year, because he closed a deal worth a little bit over $3 million for his company. And he's not even like an enterprise account executive or a mid-market. He's a commercial rep. And this happens every year at every single major tech sales company, or even like middle-sized tech sales companies. At least one person hits the jackpot. And this is just one of many reasons that it's amazing to have a career working in tech sales, because you get the opportunities to hit the jackpot. And then even if you don't, you're still making at least $120,000 a year, but usually $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. If you're interested in getting into tech sales, follow me on this channel and check out a bunch of my other free videos. What would you do if your paycheck this month was $825,000? This guy's not a movie star. He's not an athlete. He's just
okay. And so many of you, again,
if you want to make $80,000 to $110,000 first year out of college, then don't go become a doctor or a lawyer or a banker or someone in finance. Get a BDR SDR job in tech sales. If you want to make $80,000 to $110,000 first year out of college.
Okay, so immediately I'm gonna be like, but that's not been my experience because of whatever. Okay, I feel you. I hear you. I get it. We talked for a good 5 years on Tech Tuesday, because you're gonna already be at jobs where you're making phone calls, you're talking to people, you're having to interact with people. At least be paid well. Okay, at least be paid well. Let me get back to the other one. Okay, let me show you this. Now this is a young man. He's 19. Now many people say, "Well, Ericka, you know, and my son's just 19. He don't make no money." Again, I'm telling y'all, don't fall for this. These young people out here not playing.
It's me how I'm able to afford my lifestyle at just 19 years old. The truth is, I find opportunity. I look where most people wouldn't even think of looking. And today I'll show you just how I do that.
Guys, it's Jackson. You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Behind me, what I have is what would have been thrown away material at homes. I have a contract deal with home builders. I go and pick up their extra shit that would have been picked up by a dump truck and taken to a landfill. This is over 10 grand worth of material. I'm going to go sell it on Marketplace for $2,500 cash today. This is how I make over 5 grand a week. And I just want to show y'all how easy it is to do. All I have is a trailer and a truck, and you're able to make $2,500 in a day of picking this up, loading it, and dropping it off.
What's up, guys? Same night, cold hard cash in hand, delivered it, got the money. The whole point is 9 to 5, you don't have to do it. Found something where others were looking it over, throwing it away, and found a way to make money. And that's part of being an entrepreneur.
Okay. Why am I bringing this up to you? Why am I showing y'all this? On average, these job sites that you see, these big, if you're in DFW, if you're in Houston, if you're in Charlotte or Atlanta area, or places where they're doing a lot of construction, they already have it in their budget that they're going to lose so much money on materials. That's why sometimes the Jose's was walking away with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? They would slide up out of there with some materials, right? Because they already have it marked off in their budget. And people, when they see these big subdivisions, they think these builders make a ton of money. They don't, because there's so much what we call shrinkage. Okay, that's a nice word, aka theft. And then on top of that, Oh, we ordered too much materials or the wrong materials. So then you have people like him who are just calling around. They were going to pay for this stuff to get tossed anyway. You have to keep those job sites a certain percentage cleaned up. If you ever go by them when they're just getting ready to finish the homes, they'll put four, they'll do a makeshift track, right? And they'll just tell the guys, clean up the whole area, clean up. And that's when all those materials start sliding about the place. But that's why people in spec construction make so much more, because they're on top of the numbers, they're on top of the people, and they're just doing it per cost, right? Each vendor's coming in and do their part and get on out the door. Why am I showing you this? Because young people probably don't want to go sit in a cubicle all day. They don't want to go back to college, but they can do what? Drive their truck around, pick up materials, drive their truck around, cut grass, drive their truck around, knock doors. All these things are capable and possible, right? I told you about my nephew who buys cars from the auction for like $900 and turn on some for $3,000, $5,000 on Facebook Marketplace. These young people get into it. They ain't playing with y'all. They get into it. There's always gonna be people with motion and movement. And that's something y'all have to know. Now, overall, his page, why is he doing this? Because he is focused on what? Real estate. Again, I keep telling you, young people are cutting across some of this stuff. Now,
Most 19-year-olds are in class or working a 9-to-5. I chose real estate, and here's why.
I realized I didn't need hundreds of thousands to start with wholesaling. I just needed to find buyers and motivated sellers.
Instead of guessing on deals, I pay for motivated seller leads and only lock properties under contract when I already have a buyer lined up. It means zero risk, faster paydays, and I get to build real relationships with real investors in my city. Another part of that is flipping homes, where I take distressed properties and turn them into livable spaces. And so one builds equity and one builds cash flow. So yeah, at 19, I put it all into real estate because I'd rather learn the game now than wonder why I still haven't got started at the age of 30.
All right. Now, if you're in Texas, this is different, right? I'm not going to front like, Ericka, I'm in Ohio. You know what I mean? I mean, if you guys are feeling me, you can put a 1 in the comments so I can keep it rolling. I'm about to wrap it up. But long of the story short, the numbers are in your favor. Like if you're on these auctions and you're getting something for $8,000, $10,000, if you're on these auctions getting a rural piece of land that's got an old vacant trailer on it. I mean, don't take my word for this. I teach this in the land grab course. I show people how do you find the builders, how do you build a builder's list, how do you do entitlements, how do you do all that stuff. Again, we'll add some more stuff on there this week as we're doing some more trainings and I'm recording with the school video. Again, all this stuff is going to be in school groups because it's the live training is easier in there. But I just want you to understand, like, everybody thinks, oh, I want to be an influencer. I want to do this. I'm like, the real money is actually doing these businesses. And then you can show people about it. And people will come along and be like, can I work with you? Can I partner beside you? Can I help you? Can I invest? All these things will come to you, but you actually have to do the work. So when I'm inside the land grab course, I'm like, reach out to all these builders. They'll tell you, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. Right. When I show you kind skip on this page, when I show you different affiliates, which again, I have a video, I think we recorded, but I can double check, where I go over the apps we use in the service business and how they bring us leads. Because my biggest thing to y'all ever is if a person can feed you, they can starve you. If they're your only lifeline, I don't care if it's your husband, it's your wife, it's your grandma, it's your mama, it's one job. That one job lets you go. I've been seeing people just fall apart like, oh my God, my one job let me go. But I'd rather that person have the ability to be like, oh, I talked to Dr. Chaz. I'm going to do a little something in the daytime. And then I'm going to spend it after I do my little something in the morning, moving that money around on the spot. Then I'm going to go spend 3 more hours, filling out resumes, trying to get a job, trying to apply, working with recruiters so I can get another job. But I don't want them sitting there in absolute devastation because they lost a job. A lot of people put their identity into these jobs. They don't spend, 10 to 20 hours a week, investing in others, communicating with people. They literally spend this time just working, come home and Netflix and eat food and go lay down. And then they're like, Ericka, I can't find any opportunity. I'm like, well, maybe you should drive around for an hour every day and find properties that are vacant, distressed. I tell them that, oh, Ericka, who got time to do that? You do. You're in the position where you want to grow, where you want to have more money. Again, even if you just have one job, like even if you're just a nurse, even if you're whatever, you should be able to pluck 50 a week away and put it somewhere for future investment. If you cannot pluck $50 out of your check this week and do that, you have to sit down and reevaluate your budget. You have to say, like, something's off here. The numbers ain't making sense because it's just math. Now, I'm not saying you're going to put $50 away a week and then, 2 months from now, you're going to be able to flip houses and do all stuff. I'm just saying if you put money away, okay, you're putting money away and look up in a year you need it. Look up in 2 months you need it. Look up in 6 months you need it. There's something to pull from. Some of y'all have nothing to pull from, right? And that's dangerous, y'all. That's dangerous. Now, I'm going to show these, this right here. Okay, yeah. The old world wants to let the new money in, and I'll just show you examples. All right, this is in Switzerland. Now, usually these places would not even tell you to come that way. There's a lot of stuff in the Swiss Alps that are marketing for people to come snowboard this year and come ski. Why are they doing that? Because old money, of course, moves around. They need a little bit of the newer money to keep these places vibrant, alive, worth it, right? You have a certain amount of older people going away. You have a certain amount of the boomers that are going away. Again, I showed y'all yesterday or a couple days ago, with the Nas and the casino in New York. These boomers are no longer getting on the plane going all the way to Las Vegas and being hot and being uncomfortable. They want to take that scooter and scoot on over to the casino right there in New York. They want to take that cane and get over there in New York. They're going to do stuff that's closer. So these places are going to need new blood, new life to come into the scene. And so you have to figure out, how can I, the land grab course, yeah, that it ends up, if you click on the link to buy the land grab course, it'll lead you to school. It'll lead you to school. If anybody needs it, I'll put it in the comments after this video renders. But again, why is this important? Because I want to always have leads coming to me. So this week I had too many leads, right? I got too many leads coming to me. I've been on the phone all day, literally from 8:20 this morning to just before I got on this phone with this video with y'all. I've been nonstop, boom, 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 phone calls. Like, when the opportunities come, sometimes when you're throwing, reaping and sowing, we can talk about it, but I can go metaphysical on y'all. When you're sowing, you can't force the timeline. Like, I need somebody to give me something right now, right? But I started just sowing. I started sowing, again, SOW, sowing into people, events. And literally within a 2-week window of me sowing into one person at an event I met, that brought me back 3 deals. So now I'm just working through paperwork, working through stuff. And I'm going to tell y'all, the average company, the average person basically wants you to do all the work. They want you to do all the legwork. I was just talking about this with the 3PL company that runs some of the trucks. And they literally go, man, they wanted me to do all this paperwork and then still pay them $200. I'm like, exactly. That's the part of society we're at right now, where people want you to do all the legwork. They want you to do all the calling, all the following up, because they have not even thought about, oh, well, how can I make this more pleasant for the end user? Like, a lot of people aren't there yet for whatever reason. I don't know why they don't think that way, but like, you guys really have to understand, you're going to do a lot of the legwork because the average person does bare minimum when they show up to work, right? It just has. I'm just trying to keep y'all ready to hear it, because a lot of times people are like, well, Ericka, you don't have to make 100,000. You don't have to work really hard. You can make 50K a year, and you can. It just depends on what type of level you're trying to do, what type of retirement you're trying to do, right? There are people right now like Dion. When I brought on Dion to the channel, he only owns, I think, was it 28 doors? It ain't even that many doors. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that many doors he owns, but he owns all duplexes or triplexes, nothing but multifamily. And so what I'm telling you is, some of these older people that you meet, they own 2 or 3 properties. There was a property that was for sale in Texas that, this is 3 months ago, but it had 3, I'm gonna say old buildings in old buildings. Hey, all that hollering. Okay, sorry. Like, we in a small space. Why are y'all? Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'll get back on track. it had 3 different kind of buildings on the property. And essentially it was like an old military guy. He was in his 80s. And the other 2 units were 2 older military guys also renting from him. Once they got, yes, Raw, you should from the link. Yes. Yes, Raw, you should be able to do it. It should do it from the link alone, but if it don't, it's all good. Congratulations. You can sign up to how many ever you want. Okay. And so the best thing I always tell people is it's who your network is, who he is. This older man had retirement because his 2 older buddies were living in the 2 older buildings on the property that didn't look great, but it was somewhere they could be. It's somewhere where they can be free. It's somewhere where they can have cheap housing, and they were in a kind of a community. So once the older man died and the other 2 guys were gone, his son was selling it. He was like, y'all can tear this whole thing down. I don't care. Y'all can tear this whole thing down. I don't even care. It was really my dad's retirement. And so my dad has passed. So now my retirement is what? Selling this property, getting as much as I can from this property so that I can do what? So I can move forward. All right. That's my whole thing. Again, how are you in the mix? How were you able to put some money aside for you? A lot of these people get really frustrated when you start saying, hey, retirement. Oh, well, everybody can't afford to retire. No, you can't afford to retire. People out here retired. And I told people when this last batch, I'm not gonna beat what's his name? Tone Talks up. I get it. He has a righteous anger about the level of poverty that's going on out here. But it also is one of these people. It's like, do the math. Are you reaping and sowing anything? Have you bought any stocks? Like they're like, well, the last 5 years, the only people having a great time in this economy since the pandemic are people that own homes and own stocks. Okay. Every single one of them other people, whether they at Chipotle, whether they at McDonald's or they at Chick-fil-A, every single one of them people have matching stock programs. Every single one of them companies, food service, retail, Home Depot, Lowe's. Your cousin working at Lowe's ought to have some money put in the stock market. They've told you every which way they can, but when you have lowered the standard on math in society, when you have lowered the standard on reading in society, me telling these kids, hey, cheap rental, auction. The younger they are, the more they're getting to what's the math? They're young. So if this young person only gets a duplex, right? There you go. If you're young and they get a duplex and they living on one side and they're room rent, again, I told y'all, there's somebody in my mom's neighborhood. He had as a tech job, was able to buy this house. And we're like, why aren't you living in Raleigh where the tech job is? He's like, because I wanted to buy a house. It made no sense if I couldn't buy a house. And Raleigh done got expensive. Y'all not ready to hear that though. And so he's down here and he's renting out all the rooms in this 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. You know what I'm saying? For like $700 a month. So he's good, right? His mortgage is covered. All his money is just going to extra. And he already told, hey, I'm probably going to buy another property up in Raleigh. I'm going to buy another property here because I'm making so much money from house hacking this house. He ain't got a wife, so he can cut around with it. He can do that. And so what you want to understand is you have to do the math on your situation and how to grow around it, how to grow above it, right? It starts with $50. I know y'all get mad at me, but it really does start. Like when I share a stock with y'all, or I share like, hey, look at this one on Fundrise. Oh, Fundrise. Well, I'm going to put $25 there. $25? $25 is preventing you from growing in your adult life? $25? What? If you don't get yourself up out of here, you got to go, right? Again, y'all might not believe me, but let me show you somebody else. Somebody y'all might believe. Let me see. Okay, and she getting famous because she's cute. I get it. All 3 of my living aunts retired here. Listen, Dr. Chastity, when people be like, the military is terrible for Black men, let me tell you something. All the Black men I know that are millionaires right now, they retired out of the military. They didn't do 20 years. Not all of them did 20 years. Some of them did 5 years. Some of them did 10 years. They got on out. They get disability checks. They get money. They got VA loan to get their home. They got opportunities. They getting preference on stuff. Come on, man. When I would share stuff with y'all, people like, oh, that's just $30. That's just $40. That ain't enough money. And I'm like, if you never start, you'll never get to the point where you're saying, okay, I got 10K to put down on this rental, Ericka. Right? If we can't get you to start putting some money away a month, you'll never have money to pull from. That's the craziest part. When I be talking to people, they really be fighting me like, no, Ericka, that's not true. I'll be like, take a deep breath. So here's Tony. What's her name? Not Tone. I'm about to say Tone Talks again. This is Cody Sanchez. It's funny. She talks about her 17 sources of income at 39. What's funny is I did this video years ago, a video like this, but again, you update them every couple of years. So let me go do this. Let me click it now.
My home service companies. Now, as many of you may know, I make money from roofing, window cleaning, a garage upgrade company. They're unsexy to most people, but to me, it's a cash flow dream.
Hold on. Let's play that again. I don't want y'all to miss what she said there. Hold on. Oh no. Don't do it, computer. Don't you dare. You better act right. Hold on. When we own this cheap internet.
More than raise your prices. 4, content to drive leads. So you're going to share mini lessons online, make your thinking visible. People start commenting, do you offer one-on-ones? You're doing it, baby. Next, revenue from my home service companies. Now, as many of you may know, I make money from roofing, window cleaning, a garage upgrade company. They're unsexy to most people, but to me, it's a cash flow dream. Let me explain. So they're your classic small local businesses, fix real problems. Roofs leak, people can't fix their own toilets. They call you, you show up, you get paid. But here's the best part. I don't run these businesses. I own them. That's a key difference. They have operators, teams, systems. I help with the strategy, marketing, or financing, and they do the day-to-day. This is really interesting. We have this one company called Resi Brands that owns a bunch of these service businesses, and we take a cut of all of the royalty revenue that our members make. So for every franchisee that I have, revenue driving and making money, well, I get paid a little piece of that. So I'm incentive aligned to make sure that they make more money because that's how I make money. I love this income stream because it's consistent at scale. Most people overlook these businesses because they're not sexy, but that's why they work. Less competition, more demand, higher margin. Here's how you can get started. You can buy an existing one. You go to sites like BizScout, full disclosure, I own that company. You can look for service businesses, use SBA loans. They can help you to buy 10% down. 2, you can partner with an operator. You bring the strategy or the capital. They run the business. You split the profits. 3, make it boring. Systematize it. Build a brand. Let's be clear, not passive income, but it can be leveraged income because once the team and systems are in place, it runs whether I'm in town or not. So if you're looking for wealth that's not reliant on followers or tech, I like blue collar businesses. Not as sexy, but it's recurring cash.
All right. I don't know if you heard her in the beginning where she said she owned something that did roofing, that did your garage. I don't know if you ever seen so many people's garages. Garages be effed up. They be hot. They be looking terrible. People pay a lot of money for people to come fix their garage. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. If I could explain it to y'all. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I talking about this? You're like, Ericka, what the wait, come on. You just want to talk about middleman to millions and selling courses. I don't baby, where I'm going, you know where I've seen them old people, where I'm going up or yonder. Now, I'm not going up or yonder to see the Lord no time soon, but I just want you to understand that if you don't create an opportunity for yourselves to depart from some of this, you're going to be stuck like Chuck. Now, again, other day was at Lowe's, leaving out the parking lot, got some tools I need, got the supplies I need, right? Because again, there was a guy in the parking lot, certified, licensed, roofing, etc. Took the pictures, stopped by, talked to him. He's like, oh, I'm almost done for the day. I'm just getting the last little bit of supplies I'm missing. That's the kind of people we like. They've been done all day. At this point in the day, they done, right? So my biggest thing to you is these service businesses, you don't have to be there. But the key thing is what you didn't hear with Cody Sanchez is she created something similar to Biz by Sale. So did our Kelly, the other guy. That's trying to teach you to buy businesses. But at the end of the day, the truth is you just need 10% down with the SBA loan. You're going to need to have some decent credit. Now you're going to say, Ericka, 10% down, what kind of business am I buying? If it's a $2 million a year business, you're going to need $200,000 for your 10%. Okay, I already told y'all 2/3 of the government, the money that SBA is paying out is going to immigrants and children of immigrants. So we ain't even playing the game, y'all. And all these boomers will be selling and retiring the business. They ain't gonna sit in there all day with y'all. They ain't fussing with y'all. Now all you need is a boss hog. Now what do I call a boss hog? Your ideal stereotypical boss hog can be, depending on where you live, because everybody live in different places. But I'm just saying, Texas is a white or Latino man in his 40s and 50s. His butt and back starting to hurt. Right, he got a little hip hurt action, and he got a pickup truck. It's really new. He need that 150 a year. He need it. He got to pay for that boat. He got to pay for that truck. He got to pay his mortgage. His kids need braces. That's your perfect boss hog. He gonna be in there. He gonna do that paperwork. He gonna work really hard for you because he need that 150. And the only other place he's gonna get that 150 is construction, being outside. Some of those folks, and that's okay, right? You need him to be able to be tough to talk to them people. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, but it gets simpler along the way, and so I just want y'all to understand there's a lot of money in that space. Evans, listen, we shared a lot of stuff over the years. 2 IRS, criminal court, it can happen. Yeah. I was a single mom for 20 years. I have a nice little retirement on saving $100 a month. There you go. Keep it simple. Something you can do. Because a lot of times people are like, no, I'm gonna save $10,000 a year, Erica. Listen, what can you consistently do? Right? People are like, I'm gonna run 5 days a week outside till I can do a marathon. Baby, if you can only do 1 day a week, hey, that's all you can do. If you can only do the Stairmaster for 5 minutes, just do the 5 minutes. You ain't got to be on there an hour. If your heart can't take an hour, you ain't there yet. Okay, 5 minutes will do. If people stop going to lunch every day, they can afford that. Listen, people don't like that. People don't like it when you tell them to pack a lunch. I'm not packing a lunch, damn it. I'm gonna eat a fresh lunch. I went to Jason's Deli with somebody, and I was just thinking, man, this soup and salad ain't got a little hot. But it was delicious, and it was full of people in work clothes, the nurses, the hospital staff, the brothers with the Dickies on and the boots. And I'm like, look at them. All in here dropping 20, 30. It's the small stuff. It's the small stuff that you can do that's easy not to do. It's the small stuff that's to cut you like 1,000 cuts. Raw, again, I never tell people anything on taxes. If you have tax questions, ask Brandy. She knows all the questions on taxes. But at the end of the day, every year when you're on any of these platforms, they will give you a printout for your taxes when you do your taxes. So yes, you'll see that information. Trust me, the IRS sees it, you see it. They do make good money. A little progress is better than no progress. Listen, some motion is better than no motion. And so I just want y'all not to lose hope, not to be, oh my God, Ericka, the economy is the worst it's ever been. It's not for everybody. Y'all don't want to hear that. I know that's unfortunate, but I really want you to understand, like, boring in the gym builds muscles. Boring with your money builds wealth, right? You may see some of the stuff we're doing and it may seem exciting and sexy, but a lot of it is boring. It's like paperwork, checking on numbers. This isn't gambling for me. Having a business isn't gambling, right? And the truth is, one of the companies I was talking with the other day, they just want to see people have 10K a month in their account as a business owner. And I said, 10K a month? That's it? Yeah, that's it. And that blew my mind because I just thought that's how rough the economy is. You got people out here, they're business owners, they don't have 10K in their account. So, or they don't have 10K they make a month, right? And so you have to understand, like, it's a math issue. You gotta know math, y'all. You gotta know math. And when I say no math, how much do you need to make it this month? How much do you need to get in the house? Like, I ain't even trying to be funny with y'all. If there's a 2-year window where y'all are, I hate to use the word hustling. It drives me crazy at this point because y'all killed the word. But if there's a 2-year window where y'all are making really good money, you and your husband or you and your wife are like, we're going to work, we're going to get it together, we're going to get serious, we're going to get in sync, we're going to do what we have to do. And then after that 2-year window, don't buy cars, damn it. Buy a house, buy a rental, do whatever other thing you're going to do, but don't buy a damn car, right? But it may be your dream, right? Cars. And so, because most people are going to do the same thing they do every 6 months. They're going to do the same thing. And so my encouragement to you is, what's something you can start for the rest of the 4 months that are in the year, and don't lose hope in, and don't be like, oh, Ericka, I fell off the wagon. $20? You ain't had $20? As the kids would say, you don't have $20 you can give me? No, to play the games? No, I don't have $20 to let you play games. Okay. So exactly, I auto deducted, I think. $150 a week and put it in my brokerage. I kind of forgot about it. Little does, telling you, it makes a huge impact. Boring trading pays the bills. Listen, you know, Chastity, I'll save that for you. But I'm just telling you, it's the small stuff on repeat that really grows. And so when I talk about running ads and I talk about a middleman to millions, running Google local service ads, they work, y'all. I know they work. So, you know, I can't display everything here yet, but there'll be some really great videos coming in October and coming in November. Y'all get to see some of the stuff. So there you go. Brandy offers one free consultation. Go on over there to Brandy. Tom Lindo, where do I sell my books? This is the link inside the chat. Boom, you can get all the ebooks right there. It's the link inside the chat. You can always get it there, baby. You can always get it there. So my biggest thing to y'all is I don't want you to be discouraged, and I don't want you to try to do too many items this fall, because somebody's gonna say, well, Ericka, I tried to lose weight, I tried to read books, I tried to listen, little changes will change over a lifetime, right? You know, it's the big stuff that, you know, cuts your big legs, you know, like houses and cars will hurt you, but it's the small stuff that eats up your budget, right? So again, I don't want y'all to lose hope. I don't want y'all to be like, oh my God, Ericka. But listen, the economy is moving, money is being made. Please don't be discouraged. Like this one right here is a good example, but I can tell you right now, you can put 5,000 in some much better stocks than these, right? So I'm gonna put $5,000 into something. It ain't gonna be these. I'm gonna just tell you right now. But that's just an example. And I like when they do these because these are very helpful for people. Okay, let me see down here. No, Lawrence, you ain't trapping me into that. I still have my M1 account. Thanks, Ericka. Free consults. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, you guys, this is your girl, Ericka, Classic on Blog. We're at an hour point. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for, it's been a long day of phone calls. I did not realize it was going to be that intense today. But $50 starts you a long way. Reaping and sowing is a real thing. Don't give up hope. Please surround yourself with people who have a positive mindset, and don't react. Listen, a lot of times I saw these girls in bonnets the other day. I went to a source guy. I was like, you're dressed so nice. And I wanted to be like, come on, man. I ain't dressed that nice. But I knew what he was saying because there were some bonnet chicks in the building where I was at, right? And I was like, oh, man, don't do that. Not with these ladies in here. I don't want to get beat up. But the goal is it's surrounding yourself with people who are thinkers, who are growers. If you're going to do something different, you got to be around different people. So you may not be able to change your wife, your husband, your kids, your mama and them. They may always be negative people. But what your goal should be is weekly, if not monthly, I interact with people who are going in the same direction that I am going and want to make money and want to have a great life. Right. So I have some friends who I do vacations with, and we're getting ready. We're planning our fall New York vacation right now. So, you know what I mean? It's like you have to get around people who are in the flow and the routine of a lot of things. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl, Ericka, Classic on Blog. That's right. Birds of the feather flock together. What's up, Toya's Table? Look at that. She put out the good food. Okay, again, hopefully see her in October in Houston. We'll see what's up. But you guys, this is your girl, Ericka, Classic on Blog. Have a great day. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance. And guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done. And that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Ericka Williams.